Oof, it's hot. Why did I pick to make this video in the middle of the bloody day?
Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for a video discussing what we might know answers to. Today is the day of the meeting. It's the biggest meeting in the footballing calendar, maybe ever, because the results of this meeting could potentially change the landscape of football as we know it for the short-term future, which would impact the medium-term future and inevitably the long-term future as well. Project Restart, it's been named as, which is an interesting name, to say the least. It's a name about restarting the Premier League. It's obviously a bit of a project where there's different opinions about different things. Do we focus on getting the league finished? Do we cancel the Premier League? Is it more important to focus on the health of the players and fans and ground staff and cameramen and everything else over finishing the footballing season, which deep down within our hearts, we would all like it to be that way, but is it really the best thing in the world right now for everybody in terms of health and safety? Is it a good idea or is it not a good idea? And in today's video, apart from having water dripping down my face, which could be seen as a couple of little tears, because I think that the inevitable answer that we're going to give in this video is one that kind of sad, to be quite honest, but we're going to go through it anyway. Chelsea players have been asked, supposedly, to return home from their countries of origin. So Willian's gone off to Brazil, Christian Pulisic's gone back to the US, Olivier Giroud has taken a little trip over to France. The players have been called back in order to start training again come the middle of May. Now, what are my thoughts on this? What are my thoughts on the Premier League finishing and actually playing the rest of the matches and then being able to start the league again with some kind of normality when this coronavirus pandemic ends? Or whether it will fully end, we don't know. Whether footballers are going to have to use masks on their face in order to play the beautiful game. It's something that I can't quite get my head around, but it might be something that we have to get used to. Do I think the Premier League season should finish? Yes, I do. However, this comes from an area of bias where I look at what football means to me. I look at how much enjoyment football brings me, how much love football brings me in my life, and I see a void in my existence right now, and that comes from football because we're used to having football on every week, multiple times a week. It's been taken away from us due to something that isn't under the control of each and every one of us. So for selfish reasons, I would love the Premier League to resume. I would love for football to come back on the 8th of June and we see the season play out and we get to finish it and then start normal again at some point later on this year. However, that is entirely selfish reasoning, and it doesn't come from any logic in terms of what's actually best for the world and best for the habitants of the United Kingdom, in be it footballers, fans, everything. Because what we have, if we start the football back up again, we just know, even if the pubs aren't open, groups of fans are going to congregate around people's houses, in fields, or I don't know what it may be, watching the game on a flipping phone or on a projector that they've somehow managed to bring. People will find a way, if the football returns, to bring back that community spirit, which at this moment in time, where supposedly Boris Johnson says that the UK is over the peak of the virus, but we've also had skewed statistics with coronavirus, where the UK have been publishing stats which have only included people that have passed away in hospitals in the UK, disregarding those who haven't. Now the stats actually show that more people have died, unfortunately, and it includes the people that have died in care homes and other places. So when we look at the numbers, is it a feasible thing in today's meeting for the Premier League to turn around and say, you know what, screw this virus, we need to finish the Premier League season? It would literally be coming from an economical standpoint where the revenue that is currently being missed out on as a result of the Premier League not happening, we're talking some redonkulous figures. We're talking a few beers. We're talking millions upon billions of pounds that could potentially be missed if the Premier League season does not finish and we have to wait till later on in the year for everything to start again. The Premier League coming back makes economical sense for the Premier League, but is it the right thing for humanity? Is it the right thing for players? Let's just try not to entertain the idea of actually us losing Premier League footballers to this virus. It is a possibility though. It's something that cannot be ignored, cannot be denied as a straight up fact that the numbers of people that have passed away as a result of this virus are unprecedented, especially in my lifetime at least. There's been things that have happened over history where moments like this have happened and maybe even more people have passed away, but it's because the awareness socially wasn't there. The spread of information wasn't as available as it is for us now. So even though so many precautions are being taken all over the world, even though we may want to see football return, the bank balances of certain football clubs may never return to anything where they can function like proper football clubs again. If the football doesn't return, we're talking here about potentially losing multiple lives as a result of bringing entertainment to the masses. Is it more important to restart the footballing season over doing everything we possibly can to contain and hopefully defeat the coronavirus? I personally do not believe that it is more important for the football to return. So for that reason, the Project Restart shouldn't be something that is rushed. We're going to need to reformulate the scheduling of football anyway, with the World Cup in 2022 being held in the winter. Jamie O'Hara actually came up with something that a lot of people disagreed with, but scrap this season, see Leeds and West Brom get promoted from the Championship, and then next season 5 teams get relegated from the Premier League. This is something that sounds a little bit crazy, but it could work, because if teams get relegated when they mathematically weren't supposed to be relegated, you've got Bournemouth, Villa and Norwich right now in the bottom 3. We're talking about losing hundreds of millions of potential revenue if these teams go down. We've seen it with the likes of Sunderland, Blackburn, Bolton. Teams like this have gone down, never been able to bounce back up, and it's changed the entire landscape of what these football clubs are forever. And if these 3 teams go down as a result of a virus that has got nothing to do with what they've done on the pitch, yes, right now they're in the bottom 3, but there's still 9 games to go until the end of the season. So is it fair to end the season now and relegate these clubs? No. You've also got the Championship playoff teams who have got opportunities to potentially go up and get all of that Premier League revenue in their bank accounts. You can't even comprehend what that means to individual clubs. So for Leeds and West Brom to not get promoted and to have another season in the Championship, it could potentially be catastrophic for those teams who probably deserve to be going up. The main question that everyone's asking is, you're a Chelsea fan, Benson, do you want to see Liverpool win the Premier League title? There are 2 different ways of looking at this. My selfish perspective as a Chelsea fan who doesn't like seeing Liverpool win things, which is just the nature of the sport that we love. I'm a Chelsea fan. I don't really want Liverpool to win the league. However, there's also the rational being that does exist in this brain of mine, which can often be a little bit of a tumultuous place. I think that's a word. I like it, tumultuous. But they bloody deserve it, don't they? They're 25 points clear. They're virtually, I think it's 2 games away from winning the league. Don't think I can ever say that a team has deserved it as much as this Liverpool team do. You've got people talking about the United team from 98-99. You've got the Arsenal Invincibles. You've got the Chelsea team in 04-05, which I personally believe is the best Premier League team there's ever been. But, you can let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. This Liverpool team deserved to win the title. If we are to cancel the season, which I think is probably the likely outcome of this meeting and the next couple of weeks of football in discussion, just give Liverpool the league. I know that it's harder for their fans to celebrate the way that they would want to, because even though it's not mathematically done, it's as good as done, and I don't think there will ever be more of an anticlimactic title winning celebration than what Liverpool fans would experience, which, as a Chelsea fan who's experienced us winning the league multiple times over the past 15 years, it's a pretty special feeling. I remember the night in the Elk pub when Michy Batshuayi buried that goal away at West Brom. I think I bought maybe 30 different people pints that night, which was ever so slightly generous of me, and then I looked at my bank account the next day, and I actually didn't care, because even though I'd spent way more money than I could afford to do so, it was one of the best flipping nights of my life. So even though I don't like Liverpool, I've got a lot of close friends who are Liverpool fans. Even though I love seeing them suffer, it's not going to be the same, Liverpool fans. If you're given the Premier League title this season, and then let's just say you don't win it again for the next few years, you're never really going to be able to feel that actual feeling of ecstasy that comes with winning the title come the end of 38 games in a Premier League season. It's not going to be the same, no matter which way you think about it. Yes, it's deserved, and I would like to see Liverpool be given the title, just because that rational part of my mind is overruling the fact that it would just be hilarious to not see Liverpool win the league. But what does it mean for Champions League places? What does it mean for Europa League places? Does it mean that there'll be an exodus of Arsenal players leaving Arsenal Football Club due to no European football? Could that see Arsenal drop out of this whole top 4 reckoning forever? There are so many micro stories, there are so many macro stories as a result of this coronavirus, and whatever decision is made, it is inevitably going to change the landscape of football as we know it forever. From an economic standpoint, from the way that transfers can be conducted this summer, players like Jadon Sancho who want to play Champions League football, does it rule Man United out? Does it rule Liverpool into things again because they've got that Champions League football. Players like Jadon Sancho are going to want to play in the top competitions. So teams like Man United, who are currently the favourites to sign him, it allows teams like Chelsea to get back into the framework again. And obviously Chelsea are currently sat in 4th in the Premier League. This is mainly a Chelsea channel. So again, from a biased and selfish perspective, ending the season for Chelsea wouldn't be the worst thing because we get back in the Champions League again next season with a transfer budget to be able to go and improve the squad. And when you look at the kind of players that Chelsea are being linked with right now, we're going to talk about realistic transfers in a video over the weekend. Chelsea are being linked with some high caliber quality players. And then you've got the likes of Arsenal. I always bring it back to Arsenal, but they're being linked with players like Ryan Fraser. Yeah, he's a decent geezer, he's a good footballer, but in terms of output and stats, is he going to take Arsenal from 9th in the Premier League up to challenging for Premier League titles? It's not really the kind of player that's going to take them up a level. So for teams like Arsenal, this could really be a catastrophic moment, and you never know, they might not even get into European places if the Premier League was to resume. But my thoughts on the whole matter, if I was to round this up, this has been a bit of a ramble from me today. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments down below, and if you do watch this video after we hear the results of the meeting that is happening today on Friday, then I'd love to know what you think about the results as well, and I'll obviously probably do a little segment in an upcoming video relating to the results of that meeting. But at this moment in time, I just cannot see a way, without losing more lives as a result of doing so, that we can feasibly argue to bring football back at this current stage. Yes, if we carry on with lockdowns, we carry on with quarantines over the duration of May, we could start seeing this virus dip. But I'm not going to sit here and bore you with the science. You can find that online. No one really knows at this moment in time where the virus is going. We're seeing dips in daily deaths and new cases, which is obviously great news. But bringing football back as a social thing is going to change the dynamics of the good progress that we've been making dramatically if this decision is to go ahead. So hopefully we can continue to see a decline in this virus, and eventually we can get back the sport that we love so dearly. And I think one thing more than anything else is that I'm never going to take for granted going on an away trip again. I'm never going to take for granted being there inside Stamford Bridge for moments like this.
Number 4, the magical
Never going to take that for granted again. I've been going through my camera roll, looking at different clips, different celebrations, different reactions like you've just seen there. And I flipping love Chelsea Football Club, and I love this sport as much, if not more, than anything on this planet. So even though we may want it to come back, it is a time for sensible decisions. If football does come back for economic bias and aggressive, selfish reasons, then so be it. But I think we should all still do our part to make sure that we stay away, we watch in the confines of our own home until we've got this virus under control. But anyway, guys, that is it from me today. Thank you for watching this video. As always, subscribe to the George Benson Football channel if you haven't already. Uploads have not been as frequent as they normally would be, but I normally like to upload every day when the football is on and the world is in a normal moment. But anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have a good weekend. See you all soon. Bye-bye. Boom.